Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Jen, also known as Boston Jen on Ravelry and Boston Jen 1 on Instagram. And I am joined today by my mom, Diane, to share some very exciting news in the Down Cellar Studio community, which is that I now have a Patreon page. And so I'm really excited to share. And I figured Mom will love to share my excitement, obviously. And we'll also maybe have some questions that you all might have and can kind of act as a proxy for that. And so I figure I'll just tell you a little bit about what it is. And if you are interested in joining, there will be links, of course, down below for everything, but it's just patreon.com/BostonGen if you want to check out the page while you're watching. All right, Mom. So let's talk about Patreon. So what is Patreon? It is a website and there's also an app so you can put it on your phone. I have an iPhone, but I'm guessing it's available for Android and other platforms. And it is a way that creatives and influencers and makers and people of all different sorts can give more to their community and give more extras and more benefits to folks who are really their loyal supporters and bring in an income from that, right? So, and for the patrons, it's a way to say thank you for people whose work that you really appreciate and to take advantage of all those extras, right? So my podcast, this YouTube channel, my Boston Gen 1 Instagram feed, those will always be free and accessible to everyone. But I have many of you who have been following the podcast for almost 10 years now, and you're looking for more, right? So I do share a lot in all of these spaces, but I'm creating all of the time. And so I am happy to share more, but frankly, that takes a lot of time. And so for me to do it well, to take great photos, to edit those photos, to edit these videos, it does take time, and I'm happy to do it for people who are wanting more. And I think that this is just going to be a great way to do that.
I think that's awesome.
I think one other advantage that I'm seeing in this too is that I'm still getting to know the Patreon interface, but there's ways for me to share videos and blog posts and photos and all sorts of things like that. And right now, unfortunately, the way that Ravelry has updated their platform and has removed the old version, it's not necessarily accessible for everyone. So I think people are really looking for different ways to keep this amazing fiber community accessible and enriching for lots of people. And while this is a paid option, so maybe not accessible for everyone, the site should be perfectly safe. The app should be perfectly safe. So you can come over into this Down Cellar community, comment, leave feedback, and see what other people are talking about. And so I see it as another way just to keep that community aspect of things, which feels a little not in a great place right now because of Ravelry.
And so do I understand this is private? So if I posted something, it would only be to the members in that group?
That's my understanding. Yes. Yep. So the way that it works is that there are different tiers of membership, and they each cost different things and they come with different benefits. And so when I post something here, it will be shared with people of on a particular tier. And so then only people within that tier are seeing that thing. So if you're replying to that, it should still be only people who are within that grouping.
Well, I think that's good. Because I think that people may not always want to post something because they don't know if they're going to be criticized from the whole wide world. And so sometimes being in a smaller, intimate group, you have more voice.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. Like, you don't necessarily want to blast everything on Facebook where it could be searchable by your employer or something like that. Right. And, while I talk a lot about my creative projects, my fiber crafts, my designs and things like that, another thing that a lot of you have expressed interest in is goal setting, time management, productivity, like personal development kind of stuff. And that stuff can definitely feel vulnerable to share if you're asking for help or asking for suggestions or even just commenting to say, I do it this way. That may not be something that you want to share with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So now that we've talked a little bit about sort of what is Patreon, why don't we dive into a little bit about what it looks like? And actually, let me show you what my page looks like so that you can take a peek at that. Can you see my screen, Mom?
Yes, I can.
Wonderful.
It's my favorite colors.
I know. I thought I was going to do everything black and white at first, and then this color here for the Down Cellar Studio just called me.
To you. It
right?
speaks to you.
It does. So if you go to patreon.com/BostonGen, this is what you will find. And I have 5 different tiers. So we're going to talk about these in a little bit more detail, but I thought I would just scroll through and give you the overview of what it looks like. I just launched this last night and I already have 10 patrons. So thank you so much to everyone who joined and got in really early. I so appreciate you more than you can know. I hit publish last night and I said to Dan, I wonder if anyone's going to sign up. And then people started signing up and he goes, did you really think nobody was going to join? Okay, no, I didn't. But it's still very, very exciting. All right. So
it's like putting your first video on YouTube.
Exactly. We all feel that.
It took a long time to get you to that point. And then it's like, oh, well, that's not so bad.
Right? We all feel vulnerable. It's like publishing that first pattern. You're like, is anybody going to buy it? And of course they will. There's something for everybody. And I've been building this community, like I said, for almost 10 years now. So I knew my people were out there. All right, let's talk about the different tiers. So the first tier is called the Coffee Crowd, and this is the tier that's $2 a month. And basically what you're getting for this is the opportunity to say, thanks, Boston Jen. I really like all the stuff you're already putting out there, right? So I do 2 episodes of my audio podcast every month. So that's 24 episodes a year of content. I do several videos every month on the Down Cellar Studio YouTube channel, and I don't see that changing. And I post all the time on my Boston Gen 1 Instagram account. So there's nothing sort of special or new about this tier. It's just a pretty cost-effective way to say, thanks, Jen, for $24 a year. Okay, so that's the Coffee Crowd, $2 a month. The next tier up is called the Passionate Podsters, and this tier is $3 a month. And this is for people who love the podcast, but they want a little more like behind the scenes stuff. I will have blogs in the Patreon feed with lifestyle stuff, behind the scenes stuff, maybe some reviews of projects that I finish, sort of more in-depth review of some of the things that I'm working with, whether it's tools or patterns or whatever. I am also planning to do 1 privately posted vlog every month that this tier will have access to. So it won't just be available on the Down Cellar Studio YouTube channel. And that's what you get in that one. So it's a little more behind the scenes plus a private blog. So that's the Passionate Podsters for $3 a month. Okay.
That's good. Yeah.
Now, for those of you who are hardcore stitchers who want even more, we have the Stitchin Squad for $5 a month. And this one gets you monthly group Zoom, like knit night hangouts, once a month during the Splash Pad party and the Pigskin party. So this is really geared towards my knit along fans. You're hardcore participators. You're already plotting for the next one that's coming right now. I know you are. So let's get on Zoom every month during these big events and just chat and see what you're working on and just have a little bit of fun that way. And then this one also gets you access to a private Instagram feed. So I've started a new Instagram profile. It's called Generally in Focus, generally with a J, like Jen. And you will only have access to this if you join for the $5 a month and above. And then you get everything in the previous tiers. And that's how this works for all of them. So if you do the $5 a month Stitchin Squad, you also get all the benefits that those Passionate Podsters get. Does that make sense?
It's great. I like that idea of doing a Zoom with everybody.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It can be hard for me to make the time to do it, but knowing that it is like my hardcore folks who are really participating, it'll be such a joy to make the time to spend with them and hang out.
So is that going to be on a scheduled time, or how is that going to work?
Yeah, I think as it gets closer, and once I know what the group looks like, I'll definitely be putting out feelers for what's the best time. I know that we're never going to be able to get everyone in there. And as this with all of these tiers, I should say, like obviously this is new for me. It's going to be sort of a new subset of the community. I will be reaching out in lots of different ways to make sure that we're evolving in the way that makes it worth it for you all. That's what it's all about. So. There will definitely be lots of opportunities for input from the group.
Okay.
All right. You ready for the next one?
Sure am.
Our next tier for $7 a month is our Invaluable Insiders. And this one gets you a coupon that you can use in my Ravelry store once every quarter for a free self-published pattern by me. So you get one pattern per quarter for free for doing the $7 a month. And then this tier especially is really going to evolve depending on who is in it and how you answer the polls and different things that I put out there. I was thinking that we might do a periodic Zoom more focused on a specific topic. So if a lot of you are really interested in the productivity stuff, or you're really interested in my design stuff, or whatever it might be, crafts with kids, or all of the different things that you guys know that I do, I'll be taking your input and we'll do some more focused time together on something like that. And then again, you also get everything else from the previous tiers. So the Instagram and the monthly Zoom knit nights and all of that. So that's our $7 Invaluable Insiders. All right. So then the last tier is our Ultimate Insider. And this is $10 per month. And with this one, you get a coupon that you can use in my Ravelry store once a month for a free pattern. And right now I have 30 patterns in there. So you got quite a few to choose from unless you're already very sort of actively purchasing my patterns or test knitting from me. But hopefully this will be a nice perk for folks. If you're spending $10 a month, I'm happy to give you a pattern to go along with that. You will get a shout out on the podcast if that's okay with you. If you'd prefer not to, you're absolutely allowed to skip it. But I would love to shout out my Ultimate Insiders on the podcast. And you'll get even more behind the scenes looks at my designs, my process, and maybe even the opportunity to help me name some of my new patterns that will be coming out. So you'll get a few more posts in that feed with more behind the scenes stuff in the Patreon portal.
Okay, so that's only $120 a year. And you get a free pattern every month. So basically you're giving them that whole thing for free. So I'm not sure why anyone would not want to do the Ultimate Fan, because like that's a no-brainer. You know, and plus you can, if you're doing this as a business, you can write that little bit of extra fee off. So I think myself personally, if I knit, but I don't, I don't know how much patterns cost, but it seems to me like I would want to do the other ones are fine too. Like the $5 one was pretty okay because it got you into the
Zoom and the
Instagram, but
yeah, and I mean the other thing that I like to keep in mind and why I have so many tiers, just a little sort of behind the scenes, is that I know many people in the knitting community are already supporting other Patreon accounts. And so if you're trying to support a lot of makers and you want something that's a lower monthly charge, then I still feel like I'm giving you lots of different perks in the other tiers. And maybe you're not a super prolific knitter, so you're not going to use a new pattern every month, or maybe you only really knit hats and I only have X number of hat patterns or things like that. So I tried to break it up so that you do have some different options based on budget or what you're really looking to get out of the group. But I think it's absolutely an incredible value for $10 a month with all of this stuff
well, and that was an unsolicited opinion. For those of you that know me, you know that I say what is in my brain. It may not always be the right thing, but I feel I've been trying to promote Jen for 10 years.
Not trying. You've been doing a very good job at it.
As the business manager, when we go to the Sheep and Wool, passing out her business cards and saying how come you're not getting paid? Why are you doing all of this for free? Look at all this money you're spending on buttons. Like, explain this to me. And so now 10 years in, I think she has the tools to give all of you. And I think that she has a pleasant way to be able to deliver that information to you. And I can tell you as her mother that I've personally learned a ton of stuff from my daughter. This year we've done, if you've seen the goals video that we did, we decided that we would meet once a week to go over what we picked for goals for the week. So we're helping each other in that, but it's invaluable. $120 for what's in that brain over there, invaluable.
Well, thank you. We did not plan any of this in advance, as you said. So I do appreciate that. And it's so fun and so rewarding for me, like watching you use Evernote differently and to see your productivity just go through the roof. And you're such a productive person already. I wasn't sure when we started kind of working together on some of that stuff, how much could even change, because you already get so much done every day and every week. But it just goes to show that we all have even more potential, I think, than we realize. And I don't want to overpromise because I don't know how much exactly you're going to get out of this, but I do think that I'm always learning. I'm always doing. I got 3 more books at the library yesterday. I have a million ideas in my head, and I am just really excited to share even more.
I think that's great.
Awesome. Well, this has been so helpful, Mom. Thank you for helping me celebrate this big launch and share with everybody. If you have any questions, please do comment down below. I will put the link to the patreon.com/BostonGen page if you want to go ahead and get signed up. The other thing that I didn't say is that I'm 99% sure you can cancel at any time. You're billed on a monthly basis. So if you decided that your financial situation changed or the membership just wasn't quite what you wanted, you're not locked in for a year or for any kind of particular commitment. So I just want to make that clear to people up front. And if you cancel, I think in the middle of the month, you still get the rest of the month to enjoy the content. So if you want to jump in and try it out, it's really not a high stakes situation. I'd love to show you what we've got going on over there. And you can get a little sneak peek of the page before you even join. So check it out. Let me know what you think. Come on over to my Instagram, BostonGen1, and hit me up with questions or comments there too. I'd be happy to share more if you need a little bit more information before you sign up. All right, that's all for today. Thanks, Mom.
You're welcome.
See you all later. Bye-bye. Bye.